Good morning, good morning. Rosie Red, I want to give you guys just a tidbit of motivation. I'm doing my morning reading, and I've started the Why Am I So Broke? We're doing that on Sundays because that's going to tie into us learning how to cook our meals in advance. 3 days of meal planning at a time, 6 days if you can. Plan out for 6 days, but you got to do all that cooking in one day and separate those meals out. So, when you're going out shopping, you better pick up those trays from the dollar store, wherever you find them, with the tops on them, because you're going to set your meals in the refrigerator for dinner, and keep your foods in there, your salads, your fruit, put everything in bowls. That way, when people are hungry, oh, mom, come fix me something to eat. They don't have to stop you. Hey, go in there. And you can even label it Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, these stacks of bowls that you have. I'm going to show you how to do that so that when they go in there, you say, today, Monday, grab a bowl from that section. Get your kitchen and get your refrigerator totally organized. So when the kids or when people in your home get hungry, grab a bowl from this day. Get something from that day. It's already set up. You ain't got to say, oh, let me go ahead and cut up this person some fruit or make a salad or make a dinner. You're going to prepare it ahead of time. It's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of money. Okay? Good morning. God bless you guys. So I was reading this morning in Second Chronicles here about the apostasy of Joe Hash. Joe Hash, let me tell you what happened here. It says, Jehoiada grew old and was full of days, and he died. He was 130 years when he died. They buried him in the city of David. So among the kings he was buried because he had done good in Israel, both toward God and his house. Now after the death of Jehoiada, the leaders of Judah came and bowed down to the king, and the king listened to them. Therefore, they left the house of the Lord of their fathers, and they served wooden images. They started serving the bad images that they wasn't supposed to be serving. They left the house of the Lord. And wrath came upon Judah and Jerusalem because of their trespasses. Yet he sent prophets to them to bring them back to the Lord. And they testified against them, but they would not listen, for they would not listen. They were sending to bring them back. Then the Spirit of God came upon Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada, the priest, and stood above the people and said to them, Thus says God, why do you transgress the commandments of the Lord so that you cannot prosper? Because you have forsaken the Lord, he also has forsaken you. So they conspired against him, and to the command of the king, they stoned him with stones in the court of the house of the Lord. Thus Joash the king did not remember the kindness which Jehoiada his father had done to him, but killed his son. And as he died, he said, The Lord look on it and repay. Okay, so the death of Joash. So it happened in the spring of the year that the army of Syria came up against him, and they came to Judah and Jerusalem and destroyed all the leaders of the people among the people and sent all their spoils to King Damascus. For the army of the Syrian came with a small company of men, but the Lord delivered a very great army into their hands, because they had forsaken the Lord, God of their fathers. So they executed judgment against Joash. And when they had withdrawn from him, for they left him severely wounded, his own servants conspired against him because of the blood of his sons, Jehoiada the priest, and killed him on his bed. So he died, and they buried him in the city of David, but they did not bury him in the tombs of the kings. These are the ones who conspired against him: Zabad, the son of Shemiatha, the Amorites, and Jehozabad, the son of Shimrith, and the Moabites. Now, concerning his sons and the many oracles about him and repairing of their house of God, indeed they are written in the annals of the book of Kings. Then Amaziah, his son, reigned in his place. He was killed, so Amaziah began to reign in his place. Now Amaziah reigned in Judah. Amaziah was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jehoadan of Jerusalem, and he did what was right in the sight of the Lord, but not with a loyal heart. Now it happened as soon as the kingdom was established for him that he executed his servants who had murdered his father the king. However, he did not execute their children, but did as it is written in the law in the book of Moses, where the Lord commanded, saying, the fathers shall not be put to death to their children, nor shall the children be put to death for their fathers, but a person shall die for his own sin. So a war broke out, the war against Edom. Moreover, Amaziah gathered Judah together and set over them captains of thousands and captains of hundreds according to their father's house throughout all Judah and Benjamin. And the number of them was 20 years old and above, and found them to be 300,000 choicest men, able to go to war, who could handle spears and shears. So he also hired 100,000 mighty men of valor from Israel, 100 talents of silver. But a man of God came to him, saying, he said, O king, do not let the army of Israel go with you, for the Lord is not with Israel, not with any of the children of Ephraim. But if you go, be gone. Be strong in battle. Even so, God shall make you fall before the enemy. God shall make you fall before the enemy. God has power to help and to overthrow. Then Amaziah said to the man of God, but what shall we do about the 100 talents which I have given to the troops of Israel? He has already paid them to fight. And the men of God answered, the Lord is able to give you much more than this. So Amaziah discharged the troops that had come up to Ephraim to go back home. Therefore their anger was greatly aroused against Judah, and they returned home in great anger. So then Amaziah strengthened himself, and leading his people, he went to the valley of Salt and killed 10,000 of the people of Sur. Also the children of Judah took captive 10,000 alive, brought them to the top of the rock, and cast them down from the top of the rock, so that they all were dashed in pieces. But as the soldiers of the army which Amaziah has discharged, so that they would not go with him to battle, they raided the cities of Judah from Samaria to Beth-horon, killed 3,000 in them, and took much spoil. Now it was so that after Amaziah came from slaughter of the Edomites, that he bought the gods of the people of Sur, set them up to be his gods, and bowed down before them, and burned incense to them. Therefore the anger of the Lord was aroused against Amaziah. And he sent him a prophet who said to him, why have you sought the gods of the people, which could not rescue their own people from your hand? So it was as he talked with him that the king said to him, have we made you the king's counselor? Cease. Why should you be killed? Then the prophet ceased and said, I know that God has determined to destroy you, because you have done this and have not heeded my advice. So that being said, this king Amaziah, he did not like what had happened, that the people were not serving God, and he hired some people to go there and make war on these people. And one of the priests, the man of God called a priest, he come and told him, he said, you don't need that. See, God is powerful in battle and mighty. And sometimes, this is your motivation point for the day. Sometimes when people have devised all these schemes to overtake and to overthrow a nation or a people or a person, they've devised all these things. Oh, you're upset. That's what anything in business or anything, upset about how something is going. I'm gonna take hold and do it myself. See, he had paid all these men so many thousands or whatever to go out there and fight a battle. The men got mad and they broke in and started. He told them, I don't need your help. Just go back. Because the priest told him, you just go there. He said, you don't have to take nobody. Because let me tell you something, when you take God, you got all the power you need. When you have prayed by faith and you believe that the Lord is going to fight your battle, whatever that battle is, and you stand on that promise, the Lord will bring that promise to pass. But it's sometimes not going to come out what you expect. It's not going to come out how you think it'll come out. But when God get into it and he do something royal and mighty, even bigger and better than what you could have done and what you could have thought it would have been, because he is about powerful things and beauty and majesty and royalty. So when you want to get your efforts in there, whatever those battles you're fighting, and you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, take it to God first and pray about it, meditate on it, and get his direction, and let him step in and let it be his will. Because when it's his will and he do it his way, you just sit back and wait. That's all you do, wait. Because his promises are going to come to pass for you as long as you believe him. You don't even have to fight that hard. The man of God came to him and said, why did you hire all these men to go out there and do that? Because the guy that he was fighting the battle against, he had millions. He had an army way bigger than what he had the people he had hired. So, he didn't even have the ability within his own, even with the people he hired, to overthrow that army, because there were millions that he had to fight. But with the power of God, the army was overthrown. Things were taken down. But then, which would make so crazy, I'm going to finish reading it. He overthrew them because they were serving the wrong gods. He went and stole the images and started serving them himself. And the man of God said to him, now God is not going to be pleased with you for doing what you're doing. So we're going to pick this up. I'm going to finish giving you the topic of this tomorrow. All right, guys, Rosie read the motivation key for today. Stop devising all the schemes against what you think you can do on your own to get something done. Because I've been through that here recently, against somebody. I want to take them to court and I want to do this and do that. And if you just sit back and do things in a kind, gentler way and just put some prayers on, the Lord will take care of it for you. That's your motivation key. Love you guys. Have a great day.